welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow, 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 grow together. So good to hear, so good to see you all today here at Catherine's Garden and Home. And it is Wednesday again, the last Wednesday for the month of March. My goodness, this month just flew by, and it is amazing what is starting to happen in the garden. Things are starting to wake up, but it's still kind of, slow going because I noticed that the nights are not warm enough yet to really get out there and do a lot of gardening, but yet the days are warmer and you want to be outside, but you can't be outside too long because then you'll start to feel that cold breeze come through and hit you and say, it's time for me to get back inside again. So it's like we're in this little limbo, but we're coming out. We're coming out of the cold, and we are heading more and more into the springtime. So I am excited about that. And with that, we are continuing to think about our gardens and trying to be more intentional on what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And I have been thinking about my journal, a garden to call my own, the Intentional Garden Journal that I created for 2022. And in it, there is a section that I've gotten to, and I think I really need this section right now. It's called Color Your Way to Calm. Color Your Way to Calm. Because I'm like feeling anxious in that I want to get out there and I want to do more and I want to plant things, and yet at the same time I know that the timing is not necessarily right, that it still needs to warm up some more before I really get into a lot of planning and planting. And so I have to be patient, and that patience means that I need to be calm about it and know that it's all coming together. Before you know it, next month, I will have to really speed up the pace and really become diligent in the growing. And so I have my book, and I did get my crayons. And I decided I'm going to just color my way to calm and start to just relax about this whole gardening experience. You can see here I have my crayons, and just the idea of just coloring in here and relaxing. And green, is, of course, is easy because the leaves are green. And just getting out the green and just relaxing and just thinking about, well, what am I going to do? And soon all of this is going to just happen. And am I really ready for this time? And have I really thought through everything? And just wanting the garden to be simple but yet pleasurable, to make sure that it's not laborious, it's not something that's going to cause me to become anxious about, because there's so many things to be anxious about, but rather just to relax and color. And it's also a way of thinking, well, do I want to have this nice pink color in my garden? And how can I add this to it? What's going to be the color scheme? How am I going to make this all come together? And so just coloring myself to calm. It's such a wonderful thing to do, just to relax and pull out. Were you all as kids, did you do a lot of coloring? Did you like to color? and coordinate your colors and so forth. And that's what we can do as gardeners now. We can create our own color scheme that will help us to get that feeling of relaxation and calm, bring us back to a comfortable space. By looking at the colors in your Crayola, Crayola pack, and just enjoying it. So that's some of the things that I've been thinking about and trying to get myself ready for this new gardening time. Just relaxing and calming myself down so that I don't get anxious about the garden right at this particular time. And who has joined me? I see that some people have popped up while I was coloring there. Who has come to join me? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, Bev, how are you? Gardens Are Me is here. How are you? Sonia, good evening, Miss Catherine and gardening friends. Hello, Catherine. Good to see you. I have been thinking about coloring my picture also. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that it's really I was wondering, well, what should I talk about? And you know, I went outside earlier. Well, I took the picture outside, but I went outside earlier just to walk around to get some inspiration. And everything is kind of frigid and cold because we've just had a cold spell in our area here in the Boston area. It was like 19 degrees at night, and so it's not that warm. And then we had another cold spell another day that was cold also, and so things are looking kind of frigid. It's not as lively as it was the Sunday. I think it was Sunday or Saturday when I took the video, my last video that I showed you all of the garden. That day was just beautiful because the rain had come down, and so everything looked like it was about to really, take off. And then just looking at the daffodils and the tulips, and today when I was out there, they were looking so cold and overwhelmed by the cold temperatures. And yes, the sun came out, but it was just, I don't know. It just put me into good evening. Hello, Rachel. How you doing? It just put me into a kind of melancholy kind of, you know, kind of mode. And so when I looked at my journal here, I noticed that really that's where I am right now. I'm at this springtime part, color your way to calm. And then I really needed this. And I was thinking of, too, with creating new garden spaces, the whole idea of color in the garden, and how important color is. And so even just doing this little coloring here just helped to put me at a much more relaxed kind of mode. And pulling out my Crayola, oh no, I'm embarrassed and behind on updating my journal. Oh, no problem. Just coloring in here. It's like, oh, it's just, hello, Deborah, how are you, sweet? You doing good? Yeah, here while I was waiting for you all to come on, I just pulled out my journal and just started coloring, and have my Crayola box of crayons here, and just helping to mellow myself out, because I was getting kind of feeling a kind of little, I don't know, anxious about the garden, because as I said, it was so cold those last couple of days. And it's like the temperature at one point was getting kind of warm. It was feeling good, like the low 40s, I mean high 40s, like 49, 50. And so when I was outside, you could feel the sun, spring is coming, it feels good. I had a lighter jacket on. Um, and then today I had to put back on my heavy coat, and I couldn't stay out there very long. I had my hood on. I'm walking around, and I'm looking at my plants, and they're all looking so cold. I could feel the cold for them. So, pulling out my crayons and coloring and calming myself down while I start to think about, well, what am I going to talk to you all about? Because I then wrote down some things, some thoughts here. And then I said, well, let me color. And then that brings me, it's super cold on the weekend, single digits, ugh, warming up tomorrow. Yeah, I think a lot of people have or are going through, a lot of regions or zones are going through that cold snap. And so color my picture during a cold winter day. Yeah, Deborah. Yes. Um, yeah. And if you don't have the journal, you can just get a coloring book or some paper. I was almost going to tell you all in the community chat to get a piece of paper and yes, and get some crayons or a pen and start to doodle while we talk. Do some coloring or something, just to get ourselves in a flow. But now talking with you all, I feel much better. You all have actually brightened up my spirit. I feel better now, and now that I add some color here to my picture, I feel a lot more better. You're enjoying the warm weather in Georgia? That's right, Deborah. Location, location, location. I have an Outlander coloring book. Yeah, and that is actually very good for us as gardeners to play with color. And as simple as just using your Crayola pack, or if you're really fancy, of course, and you have other paints and things. Well, good for you, Deborah. I know, Rachel. She has the warm weather. And Sonia's also in California. She's in warm weather. All those people who are 7A and below, in zone 8 and 9. Yeah, they don't know what we're talking about here. It's in the 80s here, so you don't know about this cold. But you have you have dry weather seasons, right? So you go through your wet seasons and your dry seasons. Well, we tend to have more moisture and things like that. So I guess, every region has its specialty. And that is something that I wanted to actually bring up here in our garden discussion today, was finding your garden style. Lo, I'm visiting my daughter, and I'll be back in the cold weather soon. Oh, okay. Very dry here. Okay, Sonia. Hmm. It's finding your gardening style. And a lot of that, finding your gardening style, has a lot to do with your location, where you're living. Can I come visit your daughter? Rachel wants to come visit, Deborah. She wants a vacation from the cold. Um, but oh my God, we're wet and muddy here. You are, yeah. So everyone has to find their gardening style from where they are, from their location, because gardening also has a lot to do with your location, where you are living and what zone you're in. And even though we can construct or design our gardens, yet still we are limited or confined or constrained by the location. So there's some plants that really are not going to survive that well in your garden space, no matter how hard you try. Um, and if they do, it might not last very long. And it becomes a tug of war between you and your garden. And that's not what we want. So we want to work with the garden. I've enjoyed helping her decorate live house plants. Oh, that's great, Deborah. Right. Well, in your house, you can do that. But even in your home, it's you're also limited because of lighting. Plants are living things. And so they have a mind, in a sense, they have a mind of their own. It's almost like having your pet, right? Right, Shell? You have a dog, and Deborah has a dog, and some people have cats. And as much as you are supervising, caring for them, and so forth, as long as it's a living thing, it still has its own way, right? And so you have to, with children, we bring them up. They still got a mind of their own. We set the environment. We hope that we give them all the nurturing and the things that they need. But in the long run, they still have to make this decision for themselves. They still have to grow up and become their own person. I guess every plant has to become its own person. Be itself. By the way, I wanted to show you that I went back to the grocery store, and there they had these roses. So look at what I did to help myself feel good too. I went to the grocery store, and there they had these miniature roses. Now, aren't these gorgeous? Check this out. Isn't this beautiful? They don't have the name of it. They just call them miniature roses. And it's wonderful because in this rose pot, this is a 4-inch, it's like a 4-inch pot. It's a small 4-inch pot, but even within the pot, there's like 1, 2, 3, four little rose starts that they had. So as it grows out, I can actually divide this rose plant, and have 1, 2, 3, 4 little rose shrubs that I can transplant them into their own individual pots. But in the meantime, they're keeping me company. Yeah, I'm not great at growing houseplants, so I have it here near the window, and hopefully it will continue to get enough sun. Now, the tulips that I had last week, they're done. They're done. But this is so sweet, isn't it? And so I'm just continuing to encourage myself. And it was a good deal, $4. $4. I was like, "Whoa, this is great." And then when I saw that I could divide it and make other plantings, so I'll have 4 little plants, and I'll grow them up into bigger pots and create a nice little look with them. But this is so pretty. It's a miniature rose. I don't know if I believe that it will be fine in our area, but I can't see. The print is so small, so I can't read it to you. But I will check it out to see more of the care of it. Hello again. Hey, how are you, Thelma? Catherine can only stay for a while. Hello, everyone in the chat. Yeah, so that was that. That is my show and tell. Actually, I have 2. So I have my picture, and now I have this. It is really pretty. It's really, really pretty. And and it's kind of making me want to look at and see if I can find a larger one, like a bigger size, a root, because I believe now that they probably have the bare root roses coming out soon. Probably at Home Depot, we'll be having probably the bare root roses coming there. Definitely for the beginning of April and into the middle of April. Definitely with Easter, we're going to see a lot of gardening plants and things. At the store also, at the grocery store there, they also had hyacinth bulbs, but I wasn't really interested in that. I think that this would take me more into the summer and so forth, so that I'll be able to enjoy it a little longer, not just for spring. But this was such a beautiful, beautiful. Let me show so those who just came on can see the beautiful blooms. Aren't they pretty? Yeah, so that's just it. Keeping our inspiration. And Yankee Sister is also in 6A. Good evening, Catherine. Hello, Cheryl. How are you? How are you doing this evening? And how is everyone else doing? We're all doing fine. We were just feeling a little mellow and started doing some coloring in my journal just to get us excited and, you know, keeping the spirits up with the garden. So, and it's working. Plus, I have you all. You make me happy. My gardening friends, you make me happy. I was like really mellow, mellow, mellow. And now I'm feeling the excitement. You're giving me energy. We're complaining about the weather. Yes, we were. But we're shifting from that, Rachel. We're shifting, aren't we? Don't you feel the shift? I feel the shift. I feel the joy. Yes, I feel it. I feel it. Starting my tomato seeds tomorrow. You are. Oh my goodness. By the way, you are my inspiration, Rachel, to do the bottle, the winter sowing. And I have had such great amazement with the potting up my pansies too tomorrow. Wow. My with the bottle winter sowing, because my perennial mix that I put out there, they're doing really well. They've got their two first leaves, and it's actually getting kind of crowded soon. When it becomes more, when they grow out a little bit more, then I will take them out and give them their own little individual pots. And the forget me nots, which I keep forgetting its name every time I'm videotaping. For some reason, I don't remember what I put in that pot, in that bottle. Oh, thank you. Glad to hear it's working for you. I did my winter sowing on Friday, and I need to edit the video. Oh, okay. But the thing is that the forget me nots are, yeah, the forget me nots are starting to shoot up and bring their first two leaves. So that's good. And also the Chasta daisy. So I was feeling really excited about that part. And then I had seeded some cabbage seeds, and I put them in the water bottles. And it was pretty, I then moved them to another location, and I've noticed that they're sprouting. So I don't know how they'll do because I brought them upstairs, downstairs in the basement, near basement window that gets sun, which is really unique. And so when I went to check on them, they started sprouting already, and they were kind of long. So I moved them back outside, and hopefully they will continue to sprout, or those that have not sprouted yet will sprout and adapt to being outside with all of the other bottles and things. But it was kind of cold anyway, so I didn't know how they'll do. I might have to reseed that again. Yankee Sister says, my winter jugs are doing well, especially the spinach and pansies. Great to hear everyone's excitement. Yeah, yeah. Oh, nice. That's fabulous. That's right. So that is really encouraging, because, we get so, for those of us who don't have the things that we need to be able to start seeds indoors, to be able to do the winter seeding or the winter bottle seeding outdoors, it's not a lot, but at least it gets you going and it gets you excited about the garden. The other thing that is really exciting for me too is that my turnip seeds, sorry about that. I'm good now. Got the tens machine on my back in hip, drinking tea, what, and hanging out, feeling relaxed. That's good. That's good. Something happened, Rachel? I missed that, huh? But anyway, I'm glad that you're feeling relaxed. Yeah, that's the whole idea. And that's why today, even though things are, it's about being calm, calm. My Lysianthus, I winter sowed, are doing very well. That's good, Beverly. That's good, Beverly. That's wonderful. Yeah, I think that winter sowing is really a good thing. And it's really inspiring too, I think. And I also have my greenhouses. They're not very. I slipped on some ice about a month ago and pulled something. It's been bothering me this week. Oh, Rachel, I started my seeding on last week. That's nice, Cheryl. Cheryl, that's nice. I that's really nice. That's nice that you're starting your seedings. Sorry to hear that, Rachel. Well, we pray healing for you. Yes, we send healing to you. Yes, the TENS machine will help a lot. I've had to use it. Feel better. Yes. Hey, hey, Cassie. Hey, Miss Catherine, and everyone. Thank you. Yes, yeah, we're glad that we can help you to relax and feel good here with us, here at Catherine's Garden at Home, where we grow, 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 grow together. Yeah, so I had brought out, at first I was going to talk about this, breathe, breathe. Um, and the fact that we need to the stress less special. And I shared this with you a couple of last year. Actually, it was last year. Oh my God, winter sowing Lysianthus, brilliant, and I'm scared to try and grow it. um, and so that's one of the things that we have to also remember, that gardening is a pleasure, and don't make it a stressful thing. And allow yourself to de-stress in your garden and pull in this opportunity to relax and get ready for the hustle and bustle of it. And I also even had the wellness wheel. I was thinking of the dimensions of wellness and the fact that the garden also provides wellness. It gives you emotional wellness, intellectual wellness, physical wellness, social wellness, environmental wellness, spiritual wellness. I don't know about the financial wellness with the garden. Well, maybe yes, financial wellness in that you are able to grow your own food and save money in produce when it's time to harvest. So there is that sense of wellness, that an overall calm that the garden offers us as we start working through it. Not yet, Deborah. It was okay, and then this past week started bothering me again. I think I've been favoring it, so I'm doing some exercises and on the TENS machine. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Continue to heal. We claim healing for you, Rachel. Healing in your body. Yes. As you relax and meditate with your plants and yeah, and feel, continue to relax and allow the healing from your plants. I think it's tendonitis or it's Kisilage tape too. I don't know what that is. Okay, I'll keep you in my prayers. Yes, I'm going to try it. I even have some starting jugs, grow lights, and winter down Lithianthus. Looks so much better, especially in size. Blessings to you, Brampton Gardener. Cassie, we all sending love to you, Rachel. Yes. So that's what I was thinking of to also talk to you all about with this whole idea of calm and color your way calm when you're feeling stressed. That you can do this, that you can do the garden, and that things around you might not be favorable, but you can remain calm and you can do things that will relax you. And thinking about the garden and coloring it in the garden is one of those things. And then we were talking also about the spiritual part of the garden, being able to just focus on one thing and allow your mind to rest and relax is really good. The emotional part, because you see, just talking about, yeah, seeing my seedlings bring me joy. Yes, your emotional part, just seeing your seedlings, me buying my roses here, it makes me so happy. That's why I had to pick it up because I just needed that. I just needed it, you know? And it's just good, so good. So your emotional peace that it gives. I agree. Here, her, who's that? Heirloom reviews. How are you? You agree? Yay! Yes. Roundton said, I can't wait till, what did you say, honey? Can't wait till it's warm enough to do yoga and meditation in the garden. Yes. I smile when I see my seedlings too. Yes. And aroma therapy. Yeah, hello. Yes, yes. Garden is therapeutic, Cassie. Yes, you all are right. And by the way, I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about aromatherapy, and I was gonna bring out some lavender and lemon balm. The lemon smells of the lemon balm and the lavender, the mint. Oh my goodness, spearmint, peppermint. And just all of those, the oregano, all of the scents of the garden with the herbs too. Dexter, my puppy, gets jealous when I baby talk to my seedlings. That's cool. Yeah, but also your intellectual wellness too, because it means staying curious and engaged in learning new things, engage in creative activities, and that's what the garden adds for us. It gives you individual wellness with the intellectual engagement, and then us coming together and talking about how we're going to make our gardens grow. And I drink teas from the herbs I grew last year. You did see all of that sharing and so forth, and then thinking about techniques and things that will help us to become better gardeners, being more proficient at what we're doing. All of that, just having this conversation with you, not just have to think about, oh, it's so cold outside, the weather's so cold. I could actually I could feel my joy level rising. I find because I was talking to my daughter, I was saying, Karen, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And I don't know, my thoughts are all over the place. And she said, Mom, she says, what, you need some clarity of thought? I said, yes. Before I came on to you all, I'm thinking about all these things. You can see this, right? And just harvested a few strawberries and was excited about that. Oh, good for you, Cassie. And here I am now. I am not fighting for words because the excitement and the joy, the intellectual stimulation of this whole, just being with you all. Wow, Cassie, yeah, that is something to already get your strawberries. I looked at my strawberry plants. I don't know. They look like they want to come back. They're coming back, but I'm gonna have to definitely repot them and set them up, and I might buy me some more strawberries. Did you freeze your herbs, Yankee sister? That's a good question. Yeah, did you freeze them or did you? What? How did you dry them? And that's something to work on. Oh, you're without a thought. Yes, I do have a downtime. I was like, oh Jesus, what am I gonna talk about? I was praying actually. I need some. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like this earlier. Uh, she dehydrates them. They were small but good. Miss Catherine, I follow your instructions and went to Dollar Tree and got my seeds. What? What did you say? Cheryl says, Miss Catherine, follow your instructions, went to Dollar Tree and got my seeds and pots and can plant if there is someone out there that's interested in donating me a moringa seeds. What is it? Marigold seeds? What kind of seeds are that? I don't know what kind of seeds that is. But All you need is some soil. And at the Dollar Tree, they had the alternative seeds, the alternative soil, excuse me, that you can plant. Marigold seeds, they don't have marigolds. Is that marigolds that you're talking about? But anyway, all you need, you got the pots, you got the seeds, all you need is some soil. And they have soil, they should have had soil at the Dollar Tree. If not, you can get some at Home Depot. And get some potting soil, pot them up, and put the soil in the pot, put the seeds in the soil, cover them up, water them well. And it depends on your region. If you're in warmer climates, you can put them out. You could put them in a sunny location, cover them up, and they will grow. The seeds will grow. But it is definitely a learning experience, gardening and trying new things. It's intellectual. It's stimulating to the brain. It's very interesting. The physical part, the physical wellness involves moving your bodies and exercising and eating well balanced meals, sleeping and managing stress. And so that too is what the garden provides for us, because even though it was cold out, I've been inside all day. So because I was thinking about you guys and I wanted to figure out, well, what's going on in my garden? What can I share? And I decided to go outside and take a walk around the garden. And that really helped a little bit because, one, it got me moving. I got some fresh air. The sun was still shining. I got to see my turnips, germination, the little seeds germinating, and it looks so good. Even though most of the things of the ground is frozen and cold, I could still see the daffodils coming up, and I could actually see some yellow on the daffodils in the back garden. So they'll soon bloom when the weather gets warm. I am going to have some flowers, some daffodil flowers in my back row that I'm just so anticipating seeing that. So physical movement is so important. Moving your bodies, eating well and balanced, and all of that good stuff. And then the social part, which we talked about, networking, coming together. Then the environment. Environmental wellness means taking care of your global environment and your personal surroundings. Decluttering your room, recycling your trash, or volunteering to clean up your environment can improve health for all. And that is another thing. I wanted to talk about decluttering the garden. And that this is, while we're waiting, this is a good time to really survey. Okay, now I'm going to get into the gardening thing. Now that I'm over my emotional lack, my grands love to see what has bloomed. Yes, I enjoy being in my garden. I totally agree with it. It's mind relaxing when I have a stressful day. I just go. My favorite garden in claims me. It calms me very much. Yes, yeah, it does. So, finding your garden style, creating new gardening spaces and beautiful spaces. And so we have been talking about decluttering, and that is something that I think is so powerful right now, especially before everything starts to grow up and covers everything. That now that you can see everything, and especially for me, I have been decluttering the garden. I've walked around the garden and removed pots and things that I had stashed here and there, and gathered them together and put them in the shed underneath the deck, and just gathering all of like the stakes and things that I had not put away. I've kind of gathered them together and put them in a spot so they'll have them, and just looking at how I want to design and organize and structure the garden. And that has been a big focus, especially now. And utilizing this downtime while we're waiting for things to grow to actually declutter and zone off the spaces, giving each different space a focal point, knowing how to make it organized, because clutter also affects how we work and how we appreciate the garden. You know, clutter does it, and it's a subconscious thing. When we are dealing with our environment for our wellness, to make it even more beautiful, we have to start to remove the excess and really be intentional. That's why we've called it the intentional garden. If you got my journal, the intentional, to being more intentional this year, to create spaces that are really reflective of the beauty. Marigold seeds, marigold. I don't know marigold seeds, Cheryl. Sorry. I don't know if anybody else in the chat knows what you were asking about, but I don't know. And I'm not saying that you don't want a full garden, because I still love my style of gardening, which is to maximize the space by planting space density, by really planting plants close to one another. I love that full look. However, defining it, providing it with definition. And that is what I saw here in this magazine. It says beautiful borders. And I like this, especially in the beginning of the growing season, to have a defined area. You see how it's defined there with borders and bricks, or some people like stones. And then you see this, how it has like a focal point in the middle there. Right here in the middle, there's that focal point. And then there is some color coordination. You notice that the color scheme is white and purple in this, and that the stones, the stepping stones in the middle, are of the same color, so that it's not too busy, but it's really a nice palette. And that helps to create calm too. And that helps to create beauty, because now you are painting. It's almost like you're using the plants and you're using the different structures in your garden to create a picture. Instead of it being 2D, you are now creating 3D. It's a 3D experience so that you can walk into it. You know, I know you've heard of the metaverse, and you've heard of that whole idea of game. You know how they have the gamings now that people can wear their glasses, they can see through, and they're trying to create a 3D effect that you can like be transported into an environment. Well, you don't have to do all of that. You create your garden, and create your garden to have its natural 3D effect, because you're in a living environment that is 3D. It's not like the paper 2D. So you can walk into this experience and feel it by how you create it and design it, by giving it the beauty that it deserves, by providing a defined space with color, with structure, garden art, and so forth, and make it a beautiful space. So part of that too is to start thinking, well, what are things that I really don't like? What, do I really like this? I like what Laura says in Garden Answer. She says, if I don't really like that plant, I get rid of it. I pull it up. I give it away. Let it get a new home. And that she only wants in her garden what she really wants. I'm not that organized in any area of my life. I love the chaos. I think all of us have our place of chaos, Deborah. I don't think you're alone with that, girl. No, you're not. No, you're not. But after a while, I find that there is a certain level of chaos that I cannot handle. When things are just a little too chaotic, I can't think, and it's like I just shut down, and I have to start saying, okay, enough is enough, and I have to just clear out the clutter and create a new space. Now I have like my back room where I have pots and things and my gardening things that are in here. And every time I walk into that space and I see that, that I've been storing things in, it's like I can't wait until it's warm enough that I can move things out of that room and into and on the deck. And then whenever I go on the deck and there are too many pots or too many things around, I have to tidy it up first, especially when I'm finished with it. Hello, Rambo. How are you? Because for some reason I can't just seem to sit in that. It just makes me tense, and so I have to. So there's a love. There's finding that balance of tension, of clutter, and beauty. To find the level of beauty that you want. To maximize it so that you can maintain a certain level of calm. Am I the only one? What about the rest of you all? What do you think about this topic, about decluttering and defining your garden space and keeping things simple and sweet? That idea of keeping it simple and sweet. I kind of like this because this is simple and it's sweet, you know. And you can see that they put two lawn chairs over here um, to create that organized space. So that was some of the things. That was one of the things. Assigning. So the other thing is really looking at your space and picking up the pots and things that are scattered around, giving it a kind of nice, loving look. I like a full garden bed. I don't like to see any dirt. Me too, vintage garden. I do stop and try to clean up when things get out of control. Not always, though. I know where things are. It's when I clear the clutter that I lose things. I understand, Deborah. I just saw you. Oh. Well, that's something that we can work on, is to provide. I think you're right on point with decluttering. Thank you, Cassie. That the giving, giving. I think shifting our thinking, it will just help in all areas of our life. Maybe that's something that we need to work on, and the garden can help us to be a little bit more organized, a little bit a little bit more structured, so that we can actually maximize our experience and our joy in the garden, and so that we can keep things simple and sweet. And so I've been thinking of, well, I do it kind of naturally. I've been doing it, but I think that even now more, I'm going to be defining my space and giving each space more and more of a zone and assigning it a day in which I'm going to focus just on that space, or days. Like I have my front gardens, right? Where I have, which I call my urban cottage garden area, that may be on certain days, that's the day that I'm going to work on that side of the house and that side of the garden. Whereas another day, I'll work on the other side of the house and the other garden. My husband always complains about my clutter. Yeah, and and then, yeah, my husband too, well, with the pots and things and the gardening things, that they're all over the place. But trying to make it, what do you really need, and what can you give away? Maybe that is another thing. But just organizing it so that when you get into the garden, you can also relax in the garden and stay calm as well. But organize and get things done so that you can maximize the productivity of your garden and maximize the wellness, your individual wellness, because your environment is organized, and your surroundings are peaceful and calm. All right. So that was one of the other things I want to talk about. But then I also want to talk about um, maximizing small. Sorry, there's something here that I want to remove. That there's something that popped. Okay, I think it came off my screen. But anyway, the other thing that I wanted to think about was maximizing small spaces. Now, if you have, for some reason, I'm thinking that I'm running out of space. Now, I have a decent sized garden. I have to say, I have a decent sized garden. But for all of the things that I want to grow, right? How do I, but I still want to keep a grassy area and grassy areas, and I don't want to lose that. Um, and I don't want things to look cluttered or overwhelming as well. So how do I maximize all of the spaces? And so I'm thinking of putting them into zones. I need more land to grow more. Yes. And especially because I want to grow more food too, Rambo, like you. And I do like to maximize my small spaces. Yeah, you're good at that too. So how do we maximize our small spaces? And so I came up with 4 different things that one can do and that I want to try out. And you could tell me if you tried them out yourself. Is one, to create some raised beds. I created a 2,100 square foot garden with no grass. It's either walkways or flower beds. Vintage gardener. How are you, vintage gardener? In New Jersey, yes. Vertical planting, yes, you're ahead. You guys are with me. Yeah, so maximizing your small spaces, creating raised beds, growing vertically, vertical gardening, and planting space density, which I do already. I do that already. And then container gardening. I know I have my container gardener people here with me. And I'm really thinking strongly of the container gardening and making sure that I don't that's why I was talking about like the decluttering, because that's another way of figuring out how to maximize your space. Plus companion planting too, exactly. And so I love to mix my vegetables with the flowers, and that also brings out the beauty within the bed. So I'm getting beauty as well as planting vegetables. And then love container gardening also, yeah. So making sure that the containers make sense. That's where the decluttering comes in. Making sure that I have 2 tomato plants in 5-gallon buckets. Yes, that's great, because now you're able to expand your garden. And you can even tuck in, like for example, I have areas in which there's a lot of shade. So that limits my vegetable gardening a bit. So having containers, I can move the containers to the sunny places, and so that the vegetables can get the sun and they can grow. And that will help to up my garden highlights and worms. How are you? Nice to have you joining me. So those are the 4. Are there any other more ideas of maximizing your small spaces? So I have creating raised beds, container gardening. I'm adding about 4 more raised beds this year, Miss Catherine, to plant more. Yeah. So the raised beds, all right. My husband is helping me, and he's creating 2 kind of like raised beds. It's almost like a raised bed, but it's not just a raised bed. It's we're also going to use it as a what do they call it? A cold frame, so that it can extend my gardening time. So he created like a raised bed area, but then we're gonna get some kind of covering or glass, so that as the weather changes and it gets colder, we can put a glass covering over it, a plastic covering over it and use it as like a cold frame or to extend the growing season. So that's another creative thing that can happen. Now, what did you say? Garden highlights and worms. Hey, I might need to look for some what? Cassie says I might need to look for some more land to grow more fruit trees and shrubs. Yes. Oh, that's nice. To get rid of pot clutter, I should buy all new ones that match. Yes. And big ones too at that. Find a bargain space. Um, yeah, and or have a yard sale. Sell your old ones and use the money to buy some new ones. Um, or or really think about, um, sometimes if we're going to invest all of these times and things, I'd like to plant sprawling plants like watermelon in one of my flower beds. I will be using my green stalks for the first time this spring. I love using my cold frames. Yeah, definitely, Cassie. Yes, yes, Thelma. That is really great. That's what I do. I use my front bed, my front where the sun is, and I allow the watermelons and the pumpkins and squashes to just sprawl all over the shrubs in the front because that's where the sun is and they grow well and they act as a trellis for the pumpkins and the squash and the watermelons. Thumbs up, done. Oh, thank you. Um, how are you? Thank you for. I have two kinds of stock containers and excited to try this year. Yes. Hello. Yeah. Joba, Bruce Love TV. How are you? Thank you for coming and joining us. Cold Frames Rock. Yes, Bev. Cold Frames Rock. You're my inspiration. You know that, right? I got my hubby to do something for me. I got this idea from you. You did? Oh. Of that. What idea did you get from me, Yankee sister? Um, but the thing is with the stackables are good. I need to get my cold frames out. Yes. And I am okay. Well, that's good. That's good, Joba. Bruce, Love TV. How you doing? So good to have you with us here. We just warming up and feeling good inside. At one point we were cold and feeling a little down, and we started off with coloring, and then now we started coloring ourselves calm. Then we're talking about wellness, your individual wellness, getting yourself all excited about life here, our emotional wellness, our intellectual wellness, our physical wellness, social wellness, environmental wellness. And that's where we are now, talking about this environmental wellness, about decluttering and making our space, maximizing our space for growing food and growing beauty and creating a sweet spot, a beautiful garden space, a beautiful space for us to maximize our total wellness. Yeah, your first time hearing about cold frames? Okay, blessings to you, Ramble. Yeah. Cassie, yeah. Deborah is very good. Gardens Are Me. She has cold frames. And cold frames are really good. It's like a in between, the idea of planting veggies in between your flowers. Yeah, it's beautiful. And I noticed lately that a lot of people are doing that. I was watching Laura from Garden Answer, and she was planting out lettuce in between her pansies, which is new for her. I mean, I thought I never really see her use lettuce and vegetables like that. I planted peppers and kale in my flower beds. Yes, I love this. I love dinosaur kale, how it's structured and with its dark leaves like that. Well, you know me. You all see my garden. I put the caladiums and the kale together last year. Yeah, with the peppers. Oh, yeah, she put lettuce in her flower pots today. Uh-huh. Okay, Love to eat and about one in the house. Uh-huh. Yes, yes. And so the thing, even tomatoes, when you have your tomatoes with the flowers, the little red tomatoes look so cute next to the flower. I had that. I think Laura's been watching Catherine's Garden at home. You think? Thank you. I'm glad I could give her some inspiration. Yeah. I'm glad I could give her some inspiration. What to do to fill those pots and new spaces? I've been planning to get a cold frame for years, but they're easy to organize. You just put a top on it, right? And you can plant in it, or you can put pots in it, or it's a good in between period, and it will also help you to extend your growing season, so that for those cold weather crops, you can plant them and then put them in the cold frame, and it'll last you a little longer into the season, helping to extend your seasons both ways. It's almost like creating a mini greenhouse without being heated. That's why they call it a cold frame, because it's not a heated space, but the sun heats it. Yeah, I have hard plastic cold frame. Yeah, the hard plastic. Yeah, that's what I'm going to put. I'm not going to use glass, because there's something, drops on it, it could break. But and then where it's located too, it's underneath the trees, but they're deciduous trees. The leaves haven't formed yet. So I know that it will get plenty of sun in the springtime, but then as the leaves leaf out on the trees, that will be a great space for like lettuce and plants or vegetables that don't really love the heat, like cabbage and so forth. You could actually put it in that space there, and probably even protect them better from bugs and stuff like that. The white moth with the cabbage. But that's what I'm thinking. That, and then also having it in a covered spot, or in a place like that where it's kind of protected a little bit. It will protect it from critters and so forth. That's what I'm thinking anyway. At least for the beginning of the year. Oh, the cabbage moths are awful. Yeah, yeah. And so and then it's like kind of elevated a little bit, so I can cover them, or put a covering on them, or something like that. So that's what I'm thinking. So sorry, I have to leave to get ready for Bible study. Everyone, stay blessed. I will watch the replay. Thank you, Thelma, for even coming on and joining us. Your energy is so good. And we're going to be ending soon anyway, because I noticed that the time has gone by. Isn't this something? Oh, you can winter sow in milk jugs, Rambo. Yeah, that's what we've been doing. The winter sowing is fantastic. And it's just as a little messy, because you have all these bottles all over the place. God bless, Yankee sister. Much love. You as well, Yankee sister. Yes, yes, yes. So that's another way of getting started and utilizing. Time has flown today. It sure has, Deborah. The time is 6. We've been talking for a whole hour. Over an hour now. Could you imagine that? Be blessed. Yeah. And I thought we started off slow, but look at that, the energy you people give me. You fill me with joy, 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 and joy, joy, joy. Yeah, look at that. Where did all this energy come from? I have no idea. I started off so without, and now it's like if I've got to boost the energy, enthusiasm, and joy. You guys did it for me. I'm excited about the garden. All right. Yes. So, oh wow, so fast. I only know the time has passed because I moved my TENS electrodes to my shoulder now. Blessings. You're full of happiness. I know. Rambo, you should have saw me earlier. If you were to watch the beginning of this program, you'd wonder, well, what happened to Catherine? But now the joy has come. You guys have done it for me. Yes, yes, it's here. I'm talking about beautiful spaces. I'm talking about focal points and containers and raised beds. She, she, she was a mess before. It's true. You're telling the truth, Rachel. I was. I was like, no, no, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Oh, I was really bad. But now that energy is here, and I'm gonna have a good night tonight. Yes, I'm feeling excited. It's really good. It's like somebody gave me an energy drink. But anyway, we're gonna have to end soon because the battery on this phone is telling me that our time is a winding down. And I'm so glad that I think I covered talking about plants will do that. Yes, 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 it will. And thank you to all of you that have come on and joined me today. You are definitely my gardening friends, and I'm so happy. Yeah, the energy has changed as the time flies. That's right, Deborah. It's that you all have definitely been my gardening friends, and you have really helped this season to go by. And I want to say that I think I covered almost everything that I wanted to talk about. You're happy to be here, Bev? By the way, Bev, I ordered the ginger mint. I ordered it. I went to that place that you told me to go to, the shop, and I ordered ginger mint, and I also ordered another mint as well. I ordered three plants. Three plants. So they're coming. And I'm gonna have ginger mint in my garden. Yep, ginger mint. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you for donating to the cause. I appreciate it. And also the information. It was really nice. Um, so what to do to fill those pots and new spaces? And we know that when we're filling the new pots and new spaces, because pots, you're going to need dirt in them. You're going to, so, fill the bottom of the pots with clean garden leaves and twigs, and reuse old potting soil and amend it by adding fresh compost on top. That's one of the ways that you can use up that soil, because even with container gardening, it's a lot of dirt, and you don't want the expense, because that's the final part of the wellness is financial. Having financial wellness means taking steps to live within your financial means and living in and planning for future financial health. And we know planting by seeds is also one way of helping with with your grocery bills and so forth. That one seed can produce so much. I'm sad the city won't be offering compost this year. I'm sorry for you too. But try and create your own compost. Yeah. Even starting small with that. But finding ways to also become more a good steward of your financial costs too, and that's something that I'm also with the garden, to not overextend myself, and to use creative ways, allow my creative garden genius to awaken, that I can create and recycle, and then also to budget, to put things aside. I love Garden Addicts, and she was talking about budgeting, and that she's going to have a budget for her gardens. And then she says, oh my goodness, I don't know if you follow her on Instagram, budgeting, Garden Addicts. Moya, I think is her name, Moya. She is such a riot, and she talks about how she's already spent off her gardening budget for the year, and that she's looking for a third job. she, she was, so that she could fund, you watch her, so that she could fund her garden. Follow her on YouTube and Instagram. Yeah, follow her. She's such a riot. But that whole idea of budgeting and allowing yourself a limit, and using wisdom and creativity. to make sure that you don't overexpend and cause yourself more harm than good. But anyway, my wonderful people, that is it for today. Thank you so much. Yeah, she is so funny. I just can't. It's like watching a series. Did you see what she showed her last Instagram? That she was sitting there in her garden. All of a sudden, she heard shots. It was like, what? What is that? Oh my goodness. So keep her in prayer that God will keep a protective hedge around her and her beautiful children and family there in Baltimore City. For all of us who are city gardeners, we just pray peace in the city. So I pray peace in everybody's city. I say Jesus, I believe in Jesus. In Jesus' name, I pray peace in everyone's city. May your city be filled with peace so that you can garden and be relaxed and experience wellness. Yes, and the spirit of peace just move through every city and all of my peoples. Yes, protecting us from harm and danger seen and unseen. Remind me of the old folks when they say that. Yeah. May you be protected from things seen and unseen. So we pray protection. Yes. Yes. Amen. 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 Yes. So let's sing our song. Thank you to all that watched. Thank you for lifting my spirits. Thank you for the joy of my gardening friends. Thank you so much. I'm just so happy. Yes. As we grow, 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 grow together in Catherine's garden and home. That's right. Grow, 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 grow together in Catherine's garden and home. Grow, 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 grow together in Catherine's garden and home. Grow, 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 grow together in Catherine's garden and home. It's so good to be with you all. Have a wonderful evening. Blessings to everyone. Enjoy the evening, everyone. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. Rachel, blessings to you, health and wholeness. Yes. Deborah, yes. Grow, 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 grow together in Catherine's garden and home. That's right. Grow, 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 grow together, Catherine's garden and home. I hope that you all are feeling this joy. I hope that you all are feeling this excitement about your gardens. And remember, anytime you feel melancholy, take out your coloring book. Do some coloring. It helps to get you calm. With some tea and relax and think about your gardens. And also buy yourself a little plant like I did. Especially if you're in a cold climate. Garden highlights and words? Yes, thank you for coming and joining us. Well, have a great evening. Love you all. See you next Wednesday. Oh, see you in April, which is next month. Tomorrow, April Fools. We're not fools. We are blessed. The first day of April is tomorrow. Could you believe that? So thank you for joining me here in March, and I'll see you in April real soon. Bye. Grow, 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 grow together.